What's up, everybody? Jay Leone here today with another review for you. Hope everybody is doing fantastic on this Thursday, the October 8th. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Innokin ISUB Apex tank. So the Innokin ISUB Apex sub-ohm tank. I've had this for about a week now. I did purchase this one with my own money. I saw it. I saw Richard do a review, Richard NG do a review for it, and I instantly wanted to get one, so I did. So here's my review for it. Let me start with the price, what it is, and where you can get it. So I got mine from vapordna.com. I'll post links below for where you can get yours. I paid about $29.99, so 30 bucks for the tank. You can get this. I've seen this as low as 20 bucks in some other stores. I just can't remember where I saw it for 20 bucks. But I was making an order with them, so I decided to place my order for this Apex tank. So yeah, $29.99. And yes, it is another sub-ohm tank. It's just another sub-ohm tank. But is it just another sub-ohm tank? This has some unique features that I really enjoy on this, and I'll get into it. And it's got some cons, which again I'll get to at the end of this video. And let me give you some quick specs on it before we go down low and take a look at it. I'll pull some specs right off the VaporDNA website and kind of read those right off for you. So let's see, it's a 22mm diameter tank. It's got a 3 ml juice capacity. It's got a top fill system in it, and they're calling it a PRISM flavor tank. So it's something to do with the airflow and the flavor. I'll show you that all up close. It's got 2 adjustable airflow slots on the top of the guy. It's backwards compatible with all the other all the old ISUB coils on the market. So if you have an old ISUB G tank or regular ISUB tank, those coils will work perfectly fine in here. And it's made of stainless steel and Pyrex glass, and it comes with 2 drip tips. So that's the nitty-gritty on the specifications on this little fella. Let's go down low, let's take a look at it, let's break it down, and then we'll come back up and do some pros and some cons. Alright, so here we are up close with the ISUB Apex tank. Here's a little box, nothing special here. It's got a little bit of info about the tank. On the front, 100% stainless steel, Pyrex glass. It can use the old ISUB coils, Japanese organic cotton, no spill coil swap, and 3 ml capacity. Recommended wattage here for the right here on the bottom for the 0.5 is 20 to 35 watts, and you get 2.5 ohm coils in there. Just got some, authenticity stuff here on the side, more info about the tank on the back, and then the ISUB Apex logo there. You'll see here right on top, prepare for flavor. You have a little ribbon, you pull that guy out, and that's the box. And you're gonna get a little quick start guide, which is real nice for those that are new to these tanks. Tells you how to fill the tank from the top, how to replace the ISUB coil. Tells you here how to prime it, 3 to 5 drops of e-liquid on the center screen, and wait a minute. Here's replacing the coil, and just some warning on the back. Then inside here, you'll obviously get the tank, which I have attached to my mod, which we'll look at in a second. You do get this extra drip tip, which is actually really nice. I haven't used it yet. It looks like a glass, a Pyrex type drip tip, nice thick Pyrex. Double O-rings, and it's got the airflow here for the drip tip. Nice little bore on there, not bad. So you get that, and then you will get this also, which is your spare 0.5 ohm coil. And then below that you'll have a couple spares, and I believe it's just O-rings. Yes, I'm correct. So a couple different O-rings, looks like some for the drip tip, some for the tank, and all that good stuff. And that's the unboxing. So you will get 2.5 ohm coils, one's pre-installed and one's inside the box. And let's take a close-up at the tank itself here. See, it says ISUB Apex, the ISUB Apex logo there. You got your airflow, which is the unique part. It's up top. You got 2 airflow slots. Nice big slots, but you would think with this much of an air slot you would have more airflow, but no, because it gets restricted down here. So that's that. And then you have these 2 windows here. One looks like that, and the other one's got like, it's weird shape to it. Because it's got the Innokin logo right where the rest of the glass should be, or the rest of that window should be. It says PRISM here. It's got that PRISM logo. They're calling this a PRISM flavor tank. We'll talk about that in a second. Yeah, it's 100% stainless steel. And then the airflow is fully adjustable. I mean, you can take this and adjust it however you want. Does the same thing on the opposite side, obviously. I've been leaving it wide open. 510 threading, 510 pin. Definitely not use this on any hybrid devices. It is pretty much flat. And then you have this other drip tip that's included. See the bore on it. Decent double O-ring. So if you want to use a drip tip airflow, just line it up like that, and then you could adjust it if you like. I've been leaving it closed. Sometimes I've been actually opening it because I wanted a little more air. You can see here underneath the drip tip, or in this section here, you have like this channel knurled in, and a channel knurled in here. Now that, from what I can understand, is basically for this. You get your bottle when you're going to fill it, and basically gives you more space for your drippers or whatever. To fill it, it's very simple. Basically just, it's got directions right on top. You'll see an arrow, this little vaping guy, and there's an arrow, and you just turn it that way if you want to vape. And then if you want to fill it, you'll see another logo here. You'll see a dropper, like a glass juice dropper, dripper. And the arrow going this way, so you just turn that. Boom. And you have 2 slots here. And it's so easy to fill. Just take your bottle, and you can stick your bottle right in there. It just goes in easily. And squirt your juice in there. And then turn it the opposite way. And you're good. Now, I haven't had any issues filling it with flooding or gurgling or anything like that. It seems to work just fine because you're letting juice in this hole and air out the other hole, so that's why I think it works great. Now, as far as the coil goes, you're going to unscrew this base section here. Okay. And then this is how you replace your coil. I really like this design of replacing the coil. You just grab your coil here. Boom, comes right out. And there you go, you got a coil. So actually you don't get any juice on your hand when you're replacing a coil, which is nice. I mean, obviously I'm going to because I have to show you here. It says 0.5 ohm on there. It's got 2 juice flow holes, one there, one there. That's the airflow here through the pin. Decent size, actually it's a pretty good size. And each coil has its own 510 threading, which I think is a benefit. I'm going to try to rebuild this one. I think it's going to be possible. I think. And do it on camera for another video. And you see you got the screen here, which helps with the spit back. The screen does come out. I've tried that already. And yeah, it's got the ISUB logo on the coil also. And that's the coil. Here, you'll see all the way through the device. You can see how you have... This reminds me so much of a cartomizer. If you use cartomizers, you'll know what I'm talking about. The smoke cardo tanks had this design so the cardo wouldn't spin. So basically, the coil here's got a flat end and a rounded end. You can see how there's a round end and a flat end. So the round end goes with the round end, and the flat end goes with the flat end. And boom, it just pops right in, and you can see. Now, if you don't do it the right way, the tank won't close, so you'll know, because you can't do it this way. You can see it's just got stuck there. So that's how you replace the coil. Now, real quick, let me pull that coil back out, and let me show you this airflow. Now, let me explain this airflow to you. You're going to see this channel here, and there's another one right on this side. So this is how the airflow is working. Air's going in through here, down here, it's coming out of these 2 slots here, and then it's going right into the coil and right up through the center and out to your mouth. That's the PRISM flavor design that they are talking about. Say that works. You're wondering probably how that works. There's actually 2 different glasses in here. The outer one is a polycarbonate, which is not making any contact with your juice. The air's just passing through it. That's all it's going through there. And then the one on, so there's like 2 layers of tanks. So there's basically an outer layer and an inner layer. And you have the air coming in through here. And then you have the juice that's sitting inside this tank. So there's a little slot between the 2. There's probably a little bit of a gap. I'm exaggerating here, but so air's going through this one, and then up, and then through the center tube, which would be through here. If you take a flathead or something small, you could actually fill that glass through here. You could tap the glass if you like. And you'll see there's another tank there, and this is the outer tank, and this is the inner tank. So that's how it's doing it. Very interesting, very different, very unique. So yeah. Now, downfall of this tank is obviously you can't tear it apart. I mean, you could take this bottom ring off, you could take the coil out, you could take drip tip off, but can't take apart the tank. So cleaning this is really a pain in the behind. You pretty much have to soak it underwater or try to rinse it out somehow. I haven't had to clean it yet, but I know it's going to be a pain in the you-know-what. But yeah, that is the ISUB Apex tank up close and personal. So let's go up top and let's talk a lot more about this guy. Alright, so right now I'm vaping it with the 0.5 ohm coil that came with the kit. It's reading at 0.48 ohms, and I'm using it at 33 watts, which is giving me 3.98 volts to the coil, and I have the airflow all the way wide open. And the juice I'm using right now is a 80-20 blend Muffin Man from One Hit Wonder. I think I'm going to be doing a review for this coming up next, a short e-liquid review for it, and let you know about that. But anyways, so that's what I'm rocking, and I'm taking a vape. And tons of vapor. Knock my light down. Tons of vapor, as you could see. Flavor on this, flavor is just top notch. Best flavor I've got out of a sub-ohm tank. But this one, hands down, best flavor, no doubt about it. And it has something to do with the PRISM technology that they're using. Now, I showed you in the close-ups how the airflow works. It goes in through a top hole, it goes down the side, out those little cutouts in the bottom pin, through the coil, and then back up to the drip tip. So it is got this like U design going on. Basically, it goes and right back up. So that's what's going on there. So it is unique. Let's start with the pros, and then we'll get to the cons. Pros, price point, $20 to $30 depending where you go. Not bad. Not bad at all. Flavor, huge pro. Again, best flavor I've had out of a sub-ohm tank. Size, it's a rather it's on the smaller end of the sub-ohm tank market. It's not huge. To me, I like the size, and looks, I like the looks also. It looks pretty nice. The fact that you get that glass drip tip and you get this drip tip here, which is insulated by Delrin, by the way, I don't think I mentioned that. Adjustable airflow on the top, which is a pro, I guess, if people like that. It's not for me, but it is there. Top fill, easy top fill design, very nice. You just turn the thing, opens the holes, take your bottle. Most bottles, if not all bottles slash glass strippers, are going to fit in there to fill. And it does have that other air hole, the other hole on the other side to let the air out, so there's no back pressure building up and you don't get flooding like a lot of these tanks where you just screw off the top and you flood the tank when you're filling it. So that's another pro. Another pro would have to be it's not power hungry. You could rock this. I rocked it at 30 watts when I got this, and I used it there for a while. And just recently I started bumping it up around. I'm using it at 33, and I've gone all the way up to 35 watts with no dry hits. Now, I did go a little crazy and I went to the 40 watt range, and no, don't want to rock it that high. You probably get a good vape, and then the next vape's a dry hit just like I had. I put it up to 35, now I'm getting 4.10 volts to the coil. A nice warm vape, not super warm, but decently warm. Very saturated and full of flavor. Very nice. So not being a power hungry tank is great. For somebody that doesn't have a device that goes up to 70, 100, 150, 200 watts, whatever. Great tank for somebody that has, you know, a device maybe that only goes up to 30 or 50 watts. Between that range, you're going to be perfectly fine. Now that is with the 0.5 ohm coils. They do sell the 0.2s, which I got here. These are the 0.2 ISUB coils. I think I paid $8 for a 5-pack, and I got it off. Yeah, they come all wrapped like this in these little cartridge areas. I paid $8 for a 5-pack, which is pretty darn cheap, actually, off of the Vapor DNA website. So you can get those also. And on the box, it says for the 0.2 recommends anywhere between 20 and 50 watts. I'm assuming it's going to be in there in that 50 watt range. I haven't used them yet, so I can't report back on their performance, but I will post it. Post everything. I will post it in the video somewhere when I do, or somewhere in the comments below, the performance of those 0.2 ohm coils. So you have that option also. And they actually do make a 2 ohm coil. Yes, a 2 ohm coil. So if that's in your fantasy, there you go. Now, I'm done with the pros. Let's get to the cons. So let's start with airflow is not adequate enough. To me, and I don't even like that loose of a draw. It's on the tight side for a lung inhale. It's definitely doable. Definitely no problem. But when I do leave it, this is wide open right now on both sides. I do leave it on here. I feel like I get a little bit of spit back. And I feel like I'm pulling a lot of juice into that coil, causing it to give me that spit back. So I almost feel like it's so tight that it's actually making a great draw for the juice to get in the coil, but it's also causing too much juice to get in and some juice to get in my mouth. Not to the point where I'm drinking it, but I can taste it just on the tip of my tongue at times. Now to resolve that, I found that I will crack my airflow on my drip tip just the slightest bit. But it helps with taking some of that restriction off that draw, and it gives me no spit back when I have this airflow on the drip tip a little bit cracked open. And I find that it's a better draw with that drip tip air open. I hate using drip tip airflow, but in this case, I feel like I almost have to. So that leads to the second con, the spit back. I do get a little bit of spit back, and not crazy. I didn't get any spit back for the first day of the coil's life. Then come the second day and the third day, I started getting spit back with the coil. I'm gonna try some more coils, and again, I'll report if something changes in the video here and update it. But there is a slight spit back, and this is with an 80/20 juice, which is really thick, so it's wicking perfectly fine, almost wicking too fine. Next con is this glass area here. Let me zoom in for you so you could see. I should have showed you this up close, but I don't know if you could see this, but you can see some water droplets, especially up here. You see a water droplet. On the other end, you'll see some water droplets also right over here. And the tank is really foggy looking. That's because of the vapor in there. So it doesn't get condensation in between the two tanks, because remember I was saying this outer tank is a polycarbonate type tank. I'm not exactly sure. And then the inner tank is glass. So in between those two, where the airflow is traveling down, you do get this foggy look and droplets of condensation in there. It's not the greatest look at it, but you can see here some bigger drops right on the screen, right in the glass. So you do get that. To me, that's a con, because it gets harder and harder to see your juice as it gets foggier and foggier, which leads me to the next con, cleaning the thing. You can't take the damn thing apart. You can take the coil out, you can take the bottom ring off, you can take the drip tip off, that is it. So you have to clean in between that airflow area here, you know, where the airflow is traveling, and then you have to clean the inside of the tank, which, you know, it would be hard sitting in a cup of water, warm, lukewarm water, keep running under a faucet and leave those top holes open and let water go down in there. But it's going to be a hard job of thoroughly being able to clean this tank the way it's set up without being able to take it apart. I wish at least the top would have unscrewed or something. But all in all, I mean, those are the pros and cons. But all in all, it still is a great tank. The little bit of spit back, I can get past it. It's not a huge issue if I open up that drip tip airflow, because the flavor is just so good on it. It just sucks that you can't clean it a little bit better to get, you know, switching flavors out and stuff. It just sucks. It sucks. You could definitely use some improvements, but it's still going to get a highly recommended go for me. And if you're looking for a sub-ohm tank, I would suggest this one as a very good one to go with. Tons of coil options, very simple coil, single horizontal coil, just like the old Kanger sub-ohm tank used to use. So it's very simple, single coil. You get tons of vapor, not the most vapor I've ever seen, but enough vapor and very good flavor. So adequate enough for me. And that about wraps it up. So I highly recommend it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Hope some of this information in this video was helpful. I got to clear out the room. I got a lot of vapor in here. As always, I'll put a subscription link down here in the corner if you'd like to subscribe to my channel. Until next time, live well and vape on.